off. Hello, my name is Brad Bodnerchuk, and welcome to the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast, where we discuss everything hospitality, from the food on the plate to the teams that make it happen and the community that drives this industry forward. On this podcast, we sit down and chat with some of the most exciting, inspiring, and innovative minds that make up one of the most dynamic industries that there is today. And today, I have the pleasure of being joined by none other than Chelsey Iwama and Spencer Clarke. Welcome to the show and good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
If you guys are able to, hop onto YouTube and you can see my man Koji as well. Shout out Koji is joining us for today's podcast. We are in Abbotsford. We are at 9. Are you guys calling it 9 Kitchen Lounge? Or
9 downtown.
9 downtown Kitchen and Lounge. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for having us into your space. I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
And I guess we'll just jump into it right away and give the listeners some context of how, Chelsey, you and I came to start connecting.
Yeah.
And it was through a past podcast that I had done in Halifax. When I returned home, I sat down with Spencer from Bar Kismet, and that podcast spoke to you and many, many other people, but so much so that you were kind enough to reach out and share kind of your enthusiasm for the conversation that we had. Can you share with the listeners a bit, whether they've heard that podcast or not? What was it about that podcast that evoked, the desire for you to reach out and connect and share what it meant to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm from Nova Scotia, so I have been served by Jenner at a few places. So great bartender. So that's what kind of piqued my interest to listen at first. Yeah, the whole podcast was great. I think I told you earlier, I've listened to it 4 times now.
Right.
I've encouraged everyone that I come in contact with in this industry to listen to it as well. It was honest. It felt like just an honest conversation. The Jenner talking about the days of the guest always being right, that being dead, really resonated with me. The exhaustion, the love for what we all do, keeps bringing us back despite the exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
How cool it is, he talked about like having the key and putting it in the door every day and like, when's the boss coming back, and how cool that is, and what a privilege it is each day. When we come here, we have another day. We have a key, we have another day,
Right.
And we get to start, and we get to do it with these really amazing people that we're lucky enough to have work with us. So I enjoyed the whole podcast, but those are kind of the key elements that stuck out
Awesome.
for me.
Well, I really appreciate, again, you tuning in and sharing that podcast with others as well, because I feel like the message that he did share, the root of his message, is something that we do need to hear more of in this industry, and more of, like you said, the reality of this space is that it can be very thankless and can be very challenging, and letting general public know that it's difficult at times to be that chameleon. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're dealing with some stuff outside of this business. There's not many other industries or businesses that you have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
And this is one of those you don't really have the opportunity to relax. So, again, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm so happy to be here today. Help me understand how this came to be, how you guys came together, how this business is a business. Like, how did this all start? When did it start? Give us the Coles notes on that.
Basically, me and Madge were going to Vegas just for a trip, and I ran into Adam and said, hey, you guys should come along. It'll be fun, because they were planning on going the month later. We said, screw that, come with us, come hang out. And so they flew down and met with us. And we were all just partying, and one night we ended up, I don't even know where it was now.
Cabo Wabo.
Oh, Cabo Wabo. Right,
Of course.
And we had a few drinks, and
Spencer brought it up.
I've always wanted a bar. I want a bar, but we can make the coolest bar ever, kind of thing.
Right.
And Adam, same. Chelsea's like, yep. And they both have experience with it. And yeah, let's do this. When we get back, let's do this. And not everything stayed in Vegas. So we came home and actually started looking for places. And there was a few places we looked into. And it was going well. And then they all kind of just fell apart. And then this place just hopped into our lap to come check it out. And so we did, and we were humming and hawing about it. And then it was like, well, we either do it or we stop talking about it. And so the 4 of us talked, and all right, all in.
So how long ago was that now?
That was in...
We opened in March. We opened March 6th, but we took this place over on January 1st, And we had been, writing and rewriting business plans and begging people for money and looking at spaces and it falling through for about 7 months prior to taking possession of this location.
Actually, one of the other places we looked at, the guy who owned it, really nice guy. We were dealing with him, and it just fell through. And he's the guy who contacted us about this place and said, "Hey, if you're still looking, there's this other place that you might be interested in." So we came down, had a meeting with the original owners of this place. It was half the size of what it is now. It was only this.
Oh, wow.
When we took it over.
Oh, okay.
And then we took over the neighboring unit too, and put the hole through the wall and doubled the size.
Wow.
So we were up and running, and then we were right back into reno mode, doing that other side. Yeah.
How quick was that?
It went quick, but...
Sorry, how quickly did the other side become part of the business?
2 months.
Oh, wow.
We were 2 months in. So there was a store in where our dining room is now, and they left, so it was a vacant unit. So it was kind of like it's now or not for a really long time, or maybe never. We had an issue with our capacity. A couple weeks into service, we find out, actually your capacity is quite a bit lower than we originally thought. So yeah, we kind of jumped on it. This is it. This is the time. We're going to do it. We're going to double our capacity. And yeah, that was it.
So what is, for listeners, and we're lucky to have people all over the world, what is 9 Downtown Kitchen Lounge? What is it?
So the name 9, I've heard so many theories. So when I'm here working, I'm kind of just like floating around, trying to be as invisible as possible, like listening to what people are saying.
Other people guessing at like what it means?
Totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's way cooler theories than like what it actually is. So Spencer and I and our spouses, Manju and Adam, are the owners of 9, and if you combine both families, there's 9 of us in total. So
Okay.
Adam and I have 2 kids,
Cool.
and Spencer and Manju have 3. And our kids have been a massive part of this from the very beginning. So it was easy,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
But as far as like an experience, you guys talked about like being the best bar. What is the experience here? So if Koji and I came in tonight for service, what is the vibe? What are we experiencing? What's service like? What's the menu like? Like what is it as far as how does it live and breathe in the industry? Where does it show up?
Oh, well, we're a full cocktail bar here and restaurant. I'm huge into music, so the music's pumping in here. If you go out back on our back patio, we got graffiti on the wall. It's just, that's, every part of it is a part of us.
Right.
A different vibe. Chelsey's different than I am, and she has a totally different vibe. She's put hers into effect here. I put mine into effect here. Madge and Adam have both put their effect here. So you're not getting just a one kind of thing. You're getting different dynamics all over the place. It doesn't really make sense. None of it's actually.
But it works.
It works. Yeah, totally.
We think it works.
We got some fire stuff here. We got the graffiti. We got guitars hanging on the walls.
Skateboards.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's just different parts of our lives all melded into this thing. So,
what was that process like from like build out to reality? Was there ever any like sandpaper moments where you felt like, Spencer, I'm not too sure if I want like Metallica painted on the wall?
Tons of them, yeah.
Yeah?
I think that's, and you'll probably get to that, but that's probably been one of the biggest challenges for this whole thing is the 4 of us interacting with each other and each other's ideas and bringing those through. So
yeah,
let's just dive into that then. How does that work? Because I mean, I feel like if it was, say, the 3 of us running a restaurant, it might be easier because you and I could be like, I want blue, you say I want red, and they're like, Spencer, blue or red? And he's like, blue. Like, conversation's done. Whereas in the 4, it's a little bit different and more dynamic. So what does it look like then, or what did it look like from then? I'm assuming it still happens now, where there's conversations that you need to be, it's business, not personal, right?
Yeah.
So what does that process look like if there are people listening that maybe are in partnerships of 2 or 4 or more people? How do you guys manage that?
Well, we do a 25% vote on everything right now. So if they vote me down, that's just the way it is. I can be mad about it all I want. It was a majority vote, they win. But it was also a huge learning curve for us to learn each other and how to deal with each other. We're still learning that part of it. I mean, we're all friends, but you throw money and business into it, it's a whole different dynamic, right? and to not take things personally. And just because Chelsey doesn't like the color of the wall I want doesn't mean she doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Right. But you feel edgy
Yeah.
while you're going
Totally.
through it, for
Yeah.
sure. And we've had some blowouts, like the four of us for sure have had. That is the most challenging part of all of this, is figuring each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have someone that you can kind of bring in as a neutral voice?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like you said, 3 people. I mean, there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
There's 4 of us. And also, it's 2 sets of spouses.
Exactly.
Right? So, I mean, people listening would probably guess, Adam and I are on one team and Spencer and Manju are on another.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, it actually usually doesn't end up that way. Spencer and I have extremely strong personalities and are probably more type A. Yeah, it's tricky. It's hard to sometimes separate, like what it is that I want and what I so strongly feel is right for the aesthetic or the cocktail menu or the food menu or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and what's best for the overall image or vibe of
Mm-hmm.
9,
Right.
right?
We've also divvied up jobs too amongst the 4 of us.
Like you own something.
Not that you own it, but Chelsey, you're the pro at this. I'm letting you go do that.
Yeah.
Right, you tell me
I have
what's
experience
right.
in this, so just let me have this, and I'll just relay the information as it comes. If something comes up in my sector,
Realm, yeah.
then I'll bring it to discussion. And we have we group chat all the time, or we sit down and have our shareholders meetings
Mhm.
all the time. So if something comes up on my end where okay, this needs to go to a vote,
Right.
then I'll bring it up and I'll give the facts that I have. And Chelsey or whatever at the bar, she'll be like, "This is
Yeah.
what's going to sell. This is what's working," and we trust that dynamic. And really, if one of us is really passionate about something, everyone else kind of stops and goes, "Okay, there's a reason
Right.
it's brought up to that next level."
Let that train just run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can we unpack as a certain situation just to give context to people on what may have come up from January until now that like you guys are like, whoa, that was actually really fresh. This just happened. This is a really good one where we couldn't agree on or we didn't agree on.
we were just discussing last night. It was a social media thing that me and Chelsey just battled at
Mhm.
with each other, and it got 6 days of no talking.
Yeah.
Oh,
thing.
really?
Pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was all part of learning each other too, and talking to each other through text is
Oh, it's the worst.
Totally.
It's like emailing because
Right.
there's no emotion there, and then
Right.
you are.
I'm taking it how I want to take it.
You're
And-
digesting it with your interpretation of when she said
Right.
because. You're like, whoa, did you just yell because at me, or did you
Yeah,
just softly
totally.
say because?
Yeah.
What part of what we want, I mean, what we want 9 to provide and what we want 9 to be is a few things. But one of the things that's really important to all of us is, first and foremost, the 4 of us and our kids, we're friends and really we're family, and that's at the center of everything that we do. And I truly believe that you can feel that when you walk in. At least I hope so. So that was a really interesting moment for me. Spencer and I had a pretty, like you said, a pretty heated disagreement over something on social media, which him and I both take very seriously and definitely have a different style to getting our message out there. And so we had this big argument, and it went on for a couple hours through text, and he said something to me, something along the lines of a thank you would be nice. It's like, holy shit, here's this person that I see every single day, and if the off chance I don't see him, I talk to him every single day, and I haven't had 2 seconds to tell him how thankful I am for what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it was a really eye-opening moment for me. This is a fast industry that waits for nobody.
Uh-huh.
And there's always something to do, pick up, move, change, reviews. It just doesn't stop. But I think it's important that, we stop for a second and thank each other and check in with, each other as owners and management and our staff. So that was a huge moment for me. Wow, he really doesn't know that I appreciate him. And that is my fault.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. Because I mean, that comment over text can almost fuel, can be like kerosene on a fire.
Oh,
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But so kudos to you for being, I guess, an adult, for lack of a better term, and being like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I need to be more thankful. And that's something that I think needs to be practiced a lot more in this industry. It's challenging because, quote unquote, we are so busy, and quote unquote, we don't have time. But going back to what you were saying earlier and what Jenna Cormier shared about just having a key to open a door to have a business, like, take a moment and just look around, like, look at what you built, and breathe that in and appreciate it. And that appreciation will be something that will be palpable for your staff to feel. And when your staff feel it, guess what? Your customers feel it. And guess what? When your customers feel it, they spend a crap ton of money, and they tell all their friends, and they come back and spend a crap ton of money more. And I think it's so easy in this industry to get caught up in this rhetoric of there's no time for that. And I argue, as someone who's so passionate about this space thriving, and as a consultant, like, I say, like, if you don't, like, what is the cost of you not taking time for that? And the cost is you're going to get burnt out quick, and your business is going to be done before you know it. And there's no long game to that. No. So I think that's as much as there's challenges to the four of you being owners, there's also a lot of benefits as well, because he was able to give you kind of that brick moment where you're like, oh, like, whoa, Chelsey, wake up a little bit. Which
I absolutely needed. And you know, that goes to our staff too. We have 13 wonderful team members here. And, you know, let's face it, you can go on Craigslist or Indeed, and there's hundreds of job postings for this industry. And these people are choosing us. They're choosing to come here, work their butts off, no matter what's going on in their lives, put on the show, the happy face, make people happy, stay late, come in early, switch shifts, whatever they need to do to make sure that our dream runs. They need to be thanked, and they need to feel like they're appreciated. Yeah, valued. Absolutely. So how do you do that viscerally? Like, what does that look like in practice? Is it just like a hand on the back, connecting with them in the eyes and just saying, like, hey, just so you know, like, I really appreciate you pulling a double today, or well done on that table of 10, or like, what does that look like for you guys in practice? I think all of that. I mean, if we had a really busy slam night that we weren't expecting, everyone rocked it, like, I'll shoot an email just saying, hey, like, thank you. Thank you for kicking ass tonight. You guys made everyone look good. And our philosophy is, if we're going down, we're all going down together. That's it. Like, that one person made a mistake, it's not that person that's going down. We're all going down with you in it, or vice versa too. It truly feels like a team here. Yeah. I think that's such an interesting and such an important philosophy to have, especially from the leadership group, is it's actually not your staff's fault. It's actually your fault. 100%. And that's something that I'm coaching a lot of my clients on now. And they're like, whoa, how is it my fault? I'm like, well, whose business is this? Totally. Who trained these people? Yep. Whose vision is this? If something's not getting done correctly, it's not your staff's fault. It is your fault. And the moment you fully comprehend that and live that, the amount of control that you have is amazing. Yeah. When you actually believe that everything is your fault. The other part, I think, is we're pretty honest in the public about how this all runs. You know, in the very beginning, everyone's like, well, how's it going? Oh, it's awesome, you know, blah, blah, blah. Right. Oh, it's not awesome. Sometimes it's messy. Sucks. Yeah. You know, things are breaking down, and like, you got to scramble to do stuff, you know, and you got to buy something, but you don't have the money to buy it. Well, you better find the money to buy it now. Yeah. And then we just decided to be honest about it. Yeah. And on our social media too, like, you know what? This week sucked as far as we were fighting or whatever. And that's just the way it is. We'd rather portray what it really is than not. And I don't know, I just feel better about it. I don't want to get tired of putting on this face that it's fake, you know what I mean, like a falseness to it. This is what it was, and this week was fantastic. We had a great week. The week before it wasn't so great. How do you do that though, Spencer? Then say for example, again, Coach and I come back for service tonight, you have something crappy happen this afternoon, I'll sit and talk to you about it. Yeah for sure. I have no problem. This is what happened. I'll tell our story. That's cool. Yeah. I think all of our staff will tell the stories. Yeah. We're not hiding anything or being anything. We're not like the big box store. We're never going to be. Right. And we were talking about last night about, I won't say the name's of the restaurant, but a bigger restaurant, you know, if something goes wrong, you can guarantee that owner of that restaurant didn't know anything about it, right? Because they're high up in the corporation. Something goes wrong here.
all four of us know about it right now.
Right.
And
quick.
yeah, it
Is that a reality for you guys? Let's say, knock on wood, this business thrives for 10, 15, 20 years. Best case scenario, lives forever, and the kids take it over.
yeah.
Is that something that you think you always want to be your reality? Meaning, do you always want to know when something goes wrong? Will you always be working in the business? Or is your vision at some point to train people up, level people up, and then you guys are giving space to an opportunity to people to, you know, run the restaurant themselves, do the orders, call the
For sure.
Wi-Fi people and fix the Wi-Fi themselves?
Yep.
Because here's the whole thing, we hear it all the time: don't work in the business, work on the business.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
can be challenging in this space. But is that kind of the vision for the four of you at some point,
Totally.
to step back a bit and let others fill in those roles?
Well, I think both, right? Like Spencer, from the very beginning, talks a lot with our staff and to us as a group that, you know, we it's really important to him and to all of us to build people up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a stepping stone, most likely, and they're going to go on to do great things. And if we can be a small part of that, that's what's better than that,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, we definitely want to train people up so that they have, you know, more control and more responsibility and more money and all of those things. But I can't imagine a time where I'm not, like, I want to know the nitty gritty, as difficult as it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is our 10th baby, right?
Right. I was going to ask, what if someone else has a baby?
No, we're not.
Honestly, the first night we got the keys, we came in here.
You both agree, everyone agreed to celibacy?
Yeah, basically. Well, we came in here, we have the keys, all the kids were here, and my husband, who thinks he's funny, said, "Surprise, guys, we got to change the name to 10. And I was like, I'll literally kill you, and it'll still be 9. So it'll always be 9.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it won't change.
It won't change. Yeah.
My goal is to, yeah, for sure. I want to, if it's done well, if it's made some money, I want to give it to the kids, and they
Yeah.
can decide what they want to do with it. If they don't want to do it, then okay, you sell it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
yours to do. This was my dream, not their dream. If
Yeah,
they
for
want
sure.
if they want to buy in, cool. If they don't, that's fine too. But I don't have a lot to give them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
anyways. Just the way the world is right now. But here's a restaurant. Take it.
Yeah.
If you don't want it and it's made some money, sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to keep doing it, awesome.
Put
That's
your
cool.
spin on it.
I don't expect
Yeah.
them to take over or live my dream.
Yeah.
I wanted this. I've wanted a bar since I was playing in bands and in nightclubs, you know?
Yeah.
And so why not just go do it? See what happens. If it fails, it fails, but at least we can say, you know what, we tried and we worked our ass off for
Yeah.
it.
I think that's such a cool mindset as a father and as an entrepreneur. It's just to show your kids, and not just your kids, but other kids as well that are watching you, that it can be different. You don't have to do it a certain way.
No.
And the whole idea of failing, I don't know if your kids are at the age of comprehending what failure is or what society says failure is, but like, man, I say fail hard. Like,
Yeah.
fail real hard.
And go down
You're gonna
swinging.
anyways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's learning to build yourself back up after the failure.
Exactly.
That's life.
I mean, don't be silly, don't be frivolous, don't
No.
do things that you
Totally.
know are going to be like a silly bet, but
Right.
give 100% to something, and if you don't succeed, however you define that, like, it's actually not a failure. It's just another rep that you've done in the gym. It's only going to make you stronger the next time you
Totally.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I think it's such a healthy. You guys are being healthy role models, in my opinion, for this next generation that's coming up, and showing them like it can be different, and
Yeah.
you don't have to go to school, get a corporate job, have babies, keep the corporate job, retire, maybe travel to Italy once, and
Yeah.
then die. Like there's a whole other way to live this life.
absolutely.
It's your life.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk more about the actual physical space and what goes on here, because I'm super intrigued, because I don't live in Abbotsford. I'm in Vancouver, and I don't know the environment here as far as food and beverage and what's going on. We talked about, unfortunately, one of our neighbors just across the street here just closed. But where does your business and your kind of concept fit in with the rest of the city? Are you guys a total anomaly?
I
Are there
think
like
so.
brother and sister spaces where you guys, they kind of get us, we kind of get them? Or are you guys offering something to your local demographic that is completely different, that you guys feel they were calling out for quite some time?
Well, I mean, I'm, like I said previously, I'm from Halifax, which is a university city. And there's restaurants and bars and nightclubs and everywhere, right? You know, I can remember going to the Bitter End for Martini Mondays and like how fun that was, right? And like, who drinks on a Monday? Well, everybody in Halifax, right? So when we moved here, it, you know, slowly you start to see like where people go. So people are, you know, mostly going to the big, people our age, you know, 30 and up are going to, you know, Cactus Club, Browns, like those sort of places, which are great.
They serve a purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll catch me at Cactus Club. Totally. Enjoying a Bellini, right? You'll find me there.
Shout out Bellinis.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for sure. And then, you know, we have up the street, like the local chain watering hole that at 10 o'clock, they push the tables aside and there's a dance floor. And that's kind of, if you're not wearing a crop top, you probably shouldn't be there.
Okay.
So it just felt like there was a space like in between, right? Like, where do we go? I want to get a sitter, have some awesome cocktails that aren't Bellinis.
Right.
Again, love Bellinis.
Yeah.
But have some real cocktails with real spirits that are thought out and purposeful, and there's music, and it's, you know, an adult environment, but it's still fun and chill. So that's kind of, we saw an opening. We want a place to hang out.
Yeah, that's what we did. We built the place we wanted to hang out.
Yeah, it's so cool. I've read so many entrepreneurial books, and a lot of them say like that's what an entrepreneur is. They just see something that they want to see. They want to see personally in the market. They build it, and then it a lot of times blows up because again, it's fueled by passion.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the coolest thing. Whether you're talking about music, Spencer, which obviously you're really into, or art, or anything like that, where it's someone just being so real and so raw. Just watch what happens. People are attracted to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They love when someone is real. And going back to what you were saying, Spencer, about how you guys portray yourselves, not how you portray yourselves, how you are on social media is real. And there's so much value in that. And it's nice to see you guys in this industry recognizing that, because other industries are doing it where they are being so accessible. They're being so real, and then that's building a sense of trust before they even engage with your business.
Yeah.
They feel like they know you guys before they come in and have one of your cocktails.
Yeah.
And the value, I think personally, feel free to interject, I just think that value is immeasurable. Like that is such a valuable thing to have nowadays. And the tools that we have to create that bond with people is absolutely phenomenal. And it's so easy to use.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, social media and just the way our world is, being a restaurant with good food and good drinks isn't enough.
No,
it's not
at all.
enough for people anymore.
Right.
You know, you have to have the best food and the best drinks and the best decor and the best chairs. It's a lot, right? And we are who we are, and we're doing our best. And I think, I think it's refreshing to just, these are our struggles. These are where we're thriving. This is what it is. And this is who we are. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. And if you do love it, that's great. Come in, pull up a stool, let's shake a cocktail, have a conversation, a real conversation. But it's,
I think we built this place on like a limited budget, you know, like we wanted a nice bar top. So we go to the companies that make the bar tops, and it's just like, nope.
no.
We'll do it ourselves.
That. Yeah. So we figure out a way to do it ourselves. And then we line it with like angle iron there. And then because we think, okay, let's see what this does. And I love it. I will walk in, I look at it, I'm like, no one else has that.
Exactly.
It looks
Super
awesome.
unique.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, you know, we put shiplap on the walls and sponged it black because that's what we could afford to do. Yeah. And now you look at it, we threw lights on it, and it looks awesome. Yeah. I love it. Whether other people like it or not, I can't decide, but I walk in and I freaking love it. Yeah. But the other thing about this place is, so now we have this hub. We also like to celebrate other people in our community too. Like if you look at the logo on the front or the graffiti out back, that's a local tattoo artist here who we think is awesome. Right. Well, let's celebrate him. Let's put that up.
Give him a platform.
Totally. Yeah. Let's have musicians in here and celebrate them. The beer on tap. Like we didn't make the beer. Let's celebrate the people who did. And put that on our social media.
Can we give these guys?
We got
a shout
Ravens on tap who've been awesome with us. Yeah, we got Old Yale Brewing on tap now. We've been awesome.
Toxic Dose. He works at Vanbury Tattoo up the street.
Okay,
super
shout
talented.
Out Toxic Dose. Nice.
Yeah, super talented guy. Has been a huge supporter.
We've had lots of support down here, but we want to celebrate everyone else who's supporting us too. You know, and give shout outs to them. And we post on our social media, and some people hate that we do this, but we'll go to Duft & Co. or we'll go to Old Hand or wherever, Fieldhouse, you know, we'll take video of us, hey, celebrating at Fieldhouse tonight. Right?
Who hates it?
Some people just think it has nothing to do with your business, so why are you posting that?
Right, like-
Because it's our life.
Yeah.
That's why. That's
Yeah.
why we're posting it. You know, like on our birthdays, the nine people that are involved in 9 downtown, you know,
Yeah.
when it's the birthday, we do a post about them.
That's cool.
It has really nothing. Well, I guess it does in the end have something to do with the restaurant, but it has nothing to do with booze or food.
Right.
We're just celebrating people.
I like that.
And that's it. We had a band in here last week that came down, and they we want to do that. Have bands in here. Celebrate them.
That's
you
cool.
know, focus on them.
Can we talk about music for a minute? I'm a big Koji and I were actually like rocking out to some hip hop on the way here. I'm a big hip hop junkie. I love all types of music. And a question actually, I asked the owner of the restaurant that Koji's working at, Campagnolo downtown, gentleman by the name of Robert Belcham. Shout out Robert. I asked him this question when he was on the podcast. That was ages ago, and I asked him at the time he opened up a new restaurant with three different chefs, and I asked him if they were a band, who is playing what instrument.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you guys, of the four of you, who's lead singer? Who's playing lead guitar?
I'll let
Who's
you do
on
this.
bass? And who's playing drums?
Unfortunately, I am a terrible singer, but
I'm talking as far as like just from a business standpoint. Give us an idea of who's on the mic in the front, kind of getting the crowd into it. Who's keeping the rhythm on the drums? Who's the nice bass line, making sure everything's taken care of?
I
And
think I'm
who's-
on the drums.
I'm probably the lead singer.
Yeah, I'd say Mange and Chelsea are the singers, though.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I kind of hide in the back.
Okay.
In this business.
Yeah.
Mange and Chelsea are really good dealing with public and being out there with them. And
Adam's just tagging on the bass line.
I think
Adam's an
Adam's-
interesting guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Adam goes where he's needed. He's like a chameleon. He is a great bartender. He works very few shifts here.
Yeah,
as
so
a bartender.
context, Adam is a firefighter.
Adam is a firefighter.
First and foremost.
Yep, Spencer is a firefighter first and foremost.
Oh, wow. I had no idea
Yeah.
you're a firefighter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Nice.
that's how we all met.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Adam's a little bit of everything.
He's the bass player. He steps back, plays his bass, steps up to the front to the mic every once in a while.
You guys are like real gentlemen. You're letting the ladies stand up front and
Totally.
get all the
Yeah.
glam.
Well,
Cool.
they're gonna anyway.
It's true. I'll take it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And is there, going back to the original conversations about like the dynamic of four people, is there ever the struggle where you want to, get off the drum kit and grab that mic, or is it just you're comfortable back there and that's where you're best
I'm good.
suited?
I like the behind the scenes stuff. I like doing all the stuff, the building, the construction, the creative part of it. I like
Mhm.
looking at that aspect of it more than I like
Being the front man.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if guests come in tonight, this will air in 2 weeks. So guests come in tonight when this is actually aired, and they interact with the space. Are they going to see Spencer? Are they going to see Chelsea? Are they going to see Adam? Like, who are they interacting with?
They'll probably
And
see
what does that
Chelsea
look-
or Mange.
Yeah.
Here.
Or
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or both. Yep.
And
We're-
then
me and Adam are usually here like 8:00 in the morning
okay,
till 2:00 in the afternoon when we got to go get kids from school,
right.
and then we might have to do a little more running around. Then we're out,
Okay,
and they step in and take over. So everything's ready for them to go
right.
when they step in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can we talk about pride for a minute? They say it's one of the 7 deadly sins. I necessarily don't agree with it, but I like to ask this question to people in this industry because I think it's a very important part of what we do. And I talked about it with Jenner. It's kind of like the golf shot. I'm terrible at golf. Every once in a while, I'll hit one good golf shot. It'll be the reason that I go and play golf again. So I think in the industry, we have to really be focused on and be aware of when those golf shots happen for us. What are those moments where, you know what, the juice is worth the squeeze kind of thing. So bringing it back to pride, when you guys are interacting in the space and you have guests here and the music is loud and it's filled up and people are drinking and eating and enjoying themselves, are you able to take a step back and look at someone, say, consuming a cocktail and like really like enjoying it or passing it to their friend saying they have to try it, or someone who walks by the bar and is really intrigued by what you've built? What is that sense of pride that you feel, or are you aware of it? And then what are you feeling viscerally in your body? Like, is it just pride? Like, what goes through your head when the people are engaging with, again, your vision, your dream, and they are seemingly loving the experience?
Chelsea worked last Friday, and it was the first time we actually had a live band in here, and it worked great. But she texted me and just said, "This place is buzzing. You would love it here." I was on night shift, so I couldn't come down. But I'm reading it and I'm smiling. I'm like, "Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Perfect. This is what I wanted."
Do you get, is it like a goosebump moment for you?
It totally was.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wanted. I want live music in here. I want it to be rocking. I want people, like, I want laughter. I want lots of chatter. I want people to meet new people too,
Right.
and feel safe here when they're meeting new people and learning their stories. I got a story to tell. You want to hear mine? I'll hear yours, kind of thing. And yeah, so when she texted that, I was like, yeah, cool.
And what evoked you to send that text? Like, what were you like, I have to send Spencer this message right now?
Yeah, I mean, first night with live music, and I'm standing behind the bar, and I'm usually trapped there, and I just kind of took a moment, and I stepped. The music was in, the band was in the other room, and I kind of stepped out away from the bar and like looked, and you know, it's night, and the lights look beautiful, and the band sounds awesome, and people are like slapping their knees and
They're into
moving
it.
in their seats and drinking and laughing, and I just thought, like, this is awesome. And I just know how much music means to Spencer and human interaction, and I just knew in that moment, I really wish that he could have been here to see it, right? So I went outside and just said, you know, like, it's buzzing in here, like, this is your jam,
Right.
like, what you've wanted,
Mm-hmm.
what you've been waiting for, it's happening, right?
That's so cool.
So cool.
Did you notice what she said as well, guys? She went outside to text. She didn't do it behind the bar or on the
Yeah.
floor, which is a big no-no.
Yeah.
No cell phones
We made a
on
rule
the
about
floor.
that. Yeah.
No cell phones on the floor.
That's a struggle, right? Like, and I get it. I mean, it's hard with the cell phone thing. We're constantly texting back and forth, but
Yeah.
the constant access to like everything is, since opening a restaurant, it's really a lot for me, like with reviews, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm just having a normal day with my kids, and we're at the playground, and all of a sudden like a shit review comes in, and it's like, I'm seeing it right now.
How does talking about visceral affection, how does that affect you?
Reviews have been the most difficult part for me, both online and, you know, negative feedback. I really take it personally, because 9 is personal. It's like Spencer said,
it is like your 10th baby.
Yeah, and it's a reflection of all of us. And if someone doesn't like it and, you know, vocalizes that in a super aggressive way, it stings. I absolutely believe that, you know, reviews can be a positive thing, and I'm sure that, you know, positive reviews have been a reason for a lot of our business, but the really negative, really hurtful, really nasty ones, it's hard. It's hard to read them. It's hard to move past them. It's hard to know whether to respond or not. And
Don't ever respond.
it sucks. Like, it really sucks. And like I said before, like, being a restaurant isn't enough. Having food and drinks isn't enough. I read our reviews, and I read the reviews of restaurants in our area. And the things that people say, you know, like, I've read reviews about the food was great, the drinks were great, but the chairs were horrible, and they give them a 1 star.
Right.
Like, it's 9 Downtown Kitchen and Lounge. Like, this isn't a chair emporium. We don't make chairs.
Right.
We bought chairs.
Yeah.
We're doing our best. And I get it. You want to be comfortable. We're doing our best.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's hard. It's hard. And, you know, people expect everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, we don't wake up and set out to fail either.
No,
right?
yeah,
or
for
to
sure.
make someone's night crappy. But we're all human.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's be clear, like, there is no such thing as a perfect cocktail or a perfect
No.
plate
Totally.
or a perfect service. It doesn't exist.
No.
We can all try
Totally.
and we can try to achieve that.
Yep.
And I think that's it's easier said than done. And I don't own a restaurant, so I don't know what that would feel like when someone says your restaurant was a 1 star. But I challenge you not to take that on and not let it become the story that you then
It's hard.
believe, because it's not real. And it's a lot of times it's just these angry people projecting their angry lives on, and this is what fuels them. They get off on telling people that their businesses suck. And that's the challenging thing about this space. I say in my intro, this is the most dynamic industry that there is, and I challenge anyone to show me one that's different, because we're always open to scrutiny. Like, as soon as you open that door, you're saying, judge me.
Yep.
Right
Totally.
away. And there's like, the Gap doesn't get that, right? They don't.
No.
Like Club Monaco, all these different businesses, like, they, even if it's retail, no matter what the concept is, they're not getting as heavily scrutinized as we do in the food and beverage space.
It's the little guys too, right? Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the little guys, because I think people know, if you write a review on Cactus Club or you write a review on 9,
Mhm.
I think people are aware, like, the owners of 9 or management of 9 is going to read this because they're a small business, and like,
Right.
this is a real person
Mm-hmm.
on the other end of this computer reading this. You know, we had a private event a few weeks ago, and people weren't really following the rules, and I went outside, and some of the guests didn't know I was out there, and he just like ripped 9 apart. Just
Oh, really?
like ripped it apart, ripped 9 apart. Our food, our drinks, the space, ripped me apart. He didn't know I was there, right? And
Right.
I go inside and I go in the dish pit and I cry my eyes out to my 15-year-old, employee back there. It's like, are you okay? Right?
He's like, I don't know what to do with this.
I don't know. I'm so uncomfortable right now, and I can't. But I'm a human,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
and
for sure.
and it hurts, and
Yeah.
it really sucks. And he probably wouldn't have said those things had he known I was there. And I think a lot of the things that people write in reviews, they wouldn't say
Oh,
to my
God,
face
no.
because it would be mean.
Yeah.
It would be terrible. It's just as mean.
I'll say it to your face.
Yeah.
I think that's going back to my point about how cool it is to live in the time we live in, and the ability to be so real on social media. There's the positives of social media and the negatives of social media.
Yeah.
And everyone, as we know from the issues children have with bullying to people leaving really crappy reviews on your business, it's really easy to do from your keyboard at home.
Yeah.
But if you really respect this industry, your city you live in, and the people that are in it, just come into my business and have a conversation with me as an adult. I'd appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's the angle you take next time. If you're outside and you're privy to someone saying that, say, hey, I'm actually one of the owners, and I don't appreciate you talking like that, but I'm more than happy on improving your experience next time at 9. Please let us know how we can do that. And I just feel like my dad always says, and he's going to love that I'm saying it on air, he says, there's a lot less traffic on the high road.
Yeah.
And it's so true, but it's so difficult to take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's so easy to go down to that level. And like you said, you want to respond to these, but just like, but why? What are we getting out of that?
And sometimes we legit fail. You come in, you're not greeted properly.
Yeah.
Your food was terrible. Your drinks were messed up. Sometimes we don't nail it, right? And that's fair. You want to write a review about that? Totally. Like,
Granted.
you get a pass. That's fair. We failed you this time. But give us an opportunity to make it right.
Exactly.
Tell your server what was wrong.
Yeah.
Ask to speak to a manager. Ask to speak to an owner. I mean, legitimate reviews are legitimate reviews, and there's a place for them, and I can respect that. But, the unrealistic expectations are difficult. If I was saying to Spencer, if I go to KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, looking for a leg of lamb, and they don't have it, and I'm disappointed, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Doesn't make sense.
I think,
You were going to say something, Spencer?
Yeah, I think some reviews are, we've taken some good stuff out of reviews too, that were negative.
Yeah.
But
You've gotten better.
Hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing either. Because the 4 of us aren't thinking of everything. Someone else is like, hey, what about this? Or this didn't work. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. I didn't even think about it.
Let's change it.
And I think that's the challenging thing as well. Is we need feedback in our industry.
Totally.
We want people to let us know when their halibut's overcooked or their steak is underdone, because we don't want them leaving the business and then having that be their experience. So it's a fine line between saying people like, don't give us your shitty feedback, and then they don't give us any feedback at all. Like, we need to hear from you. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
But let's just understand that, like you said, we're humans.
Yeah.
We have emotions. We have feelings. We are literally trying our best.
Yeah.
And that's something that is difficult in this space. I think, again, the power of social media can bridge that gap. Is people don't see what you guys do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't see the blood, sweat, and tears and years that you've put into preparing for this moment.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to come in and crap all over it if it's not up to their expectations.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the fact that the 4 of us are like, yeah, we effed up. We screwed this one up.
Yep.
And we'll take that on the chin. That was totally our fault.
Yep.
Let's make it better next time.
And we need more of that in our industry, as far as like finger pointing and say, oh, that person's a jackass.
Yeah.
And like you said, everything is our fault.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't win any
All
people,
of it.
but at the same time, it's just honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's being honest to our staff, to each other, to the customers. Like me, I'll get on the pizza station to fill in one night, and I burn like 5 pizzas. Like, crap, your pizza's going to be a little longer because I burnt it. Because we have a wood burning oven back there. So
Right.
1 minute it's the perfect temperature, but it's dying down. You got to throw another log on it. Well, now it's ripping, and I
Right.
still got to make this pizza, right?
You're
And
a fireman. Come on, dude.
yeah.
You should know
The
this.
job
stuff.
is to put fire out.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the menus a bit, both the cocktail and the food? Can we, if people are coming in, they haven't tried this space before, what are the few items that you guys are, again, talking about pride, that you're super proud of? You feel like, you know what, you have to try this because we are really known for X.
I think the pizza, the wood-fired oven is something that's unique.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of places have it. Again, it's like everything. Some people love it, some people don't. But I think a lot of our guests come here for the pizza. And as far as our cocktails go, we have 12 cocktails that we started with that I think the plan right now is those will be like our 12 staple cocktails, and they'll remain, and then seasonally we change it. It's funny, every month there's a different cocktail that seems to take off, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Of the 12?
Of the original 12.
Okay.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Something just catches on.
Yeah, like, we started off and it was our version of a dark and stormy. That was just like blowing up. Last month, nobody drank it. And people were drinking the Montrose Martini, which is like the strongest, it's an absinthe martini. And they were flying, right? Like, so,
That's
sorry.
Right. That's all right.
Yeah, so I think the cocktails, there isn't one in particular. It changes all the time, but people seem to really enjoy them. But the pizza for sure. Is there
one pizza that just crushes all?
Spinach and artichoke.
Oh yeah.
Spinach and artichoke pizza does really well.
Our cooks just came up with, like, we now have a pierogi pizza and we have a barbecue chicken pizza.
Okay.
And that's the other thing too, is like Chelsey was saying earlier, if I'm not expecting our cook to be here for the lifespan of this restaurant, right?
It'd be cool.
Yeah,
Totally.
sure.
Yeah.
But if they came in and are better when they leave because of this place, then we succeeded.
Exactly.
Right? And we give creative freedom to them. Yeah, you want to try it? Try it.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to go in
Exactly.
the garbage,
Yeah.
then I have no problem with you trying it. And kudos to you. You can have the credit. I don't
Yeah.
need the credit.
Yeah.
You're the creator of it. Let's give you the credit for it. So right now, like, they just came up with these new tacos that came out, and they're flying. Everyone's
yeah?
loving them. So yeah, hey, congrats to our kitchen staff who came up with this, and kudos to them for doing it.
It's so cool to watch them create something and then it does so well,
Yeah.
and then to see how that affects them.
Oh my God.
That's the good stuff.
That's their golf shot, right?
Yeah.
That is
And
the
then
golf shot.
we show them the reviews. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
person loved what you created.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the dopamine they're getting off of that is going to
Totally.
last them for the next week or two.
Totally.
And
Everyone,
let's
like-
do it again.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
keep doing it,
Yeah.
right? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about systems. It comes up for me a lot with a lot of my clients because systems lack in this industry. I feel like people are just, again, they're putting the key in the door and then just reacting every single day and kind of waiting for things to happen to them as opposed to setting up systems. Like, for example, firefighting. There
Mhm.
are systems in place.
Yep.
Like when an alarm goes off, you guys do certain things. It's been ingrained in you so that you do it right 9 out of 10 times. I would argue maybe 99% of the time you
Yep.
do certain things right. Have you taken any of the training that you and Adam have in regards to being so systematic to this business? And Chelsey, with your experience in this space, are you able to set systems into place so that it's easier to train, it's a better customer experience, all those things that we want to? Or are you guys still kind of that infant like my daughter who's starting to walk but kind of falling, starting to walk and kind of falling? Where are you at with that?
I think we're growing. I think we're just leaving that stage right now.
Just
Um,
leaving.
Yeah.
Like in me and Adam's world, chain of command's huge.
Right.
That's the way it goes, and it works better for the bottom and the top that
Yeah.
way. The middleman gets to deal with it, and so we've been implementing that quite a bit. That they don't have to come to the owners all the time. They can go through the management to deal with that. Management can deal with me, and that way that person isn't dealing with 4 people.
Mhm.
They're dealing with 1,
Mhm.
right? And that one person can pick which owner best suits this
Whatever
problem,
right.
and then they can come to that owner. So we've been implemented that lately, I think. And
Yeah, it seems to be working well.
yeah.
Has there been anything that has come up like during service where you're like, ooh, we need a system for that? Whether it's like
Yes.
bathroom checks or the way you make a cocktail or the way you pour a beer or the way you put beer onto a table, like all those things.
Yeah.
The way it runs now is not the way it ran in March
No.
when we opened.
Yeah.
We're
Like
just
more
flying by the
reactive.
seat of our
Yeah,
pants
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah.
now,
I
like,
think
well,
we-
this didn't work. This does work. We're putting this into effect.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
We've developed systems as we go. So
Yeah.
now, I mean, it's very much, like classic, like someone walks in the door, you have 20 seconds to greet those people. Like that's
Like a non-negotiable.
that has to happen.
Yeah.
We have specific systems in the kitchen, specific systems in the bar. I'm a bartender by trade. So, I've got the bar locked in, like this is the way this goes. And it's a pretty rigid thing, right?
But that being said, it's not all our ideas.
Nope.
Some of the staff will come up with, or most of the staff will come up with ideas and be like, "Man,
This doesn't
your
work.
This isn't
idea is
working."
stupid.
Yeah.
Why don't
Yeah.
we try this?" And you're like, Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Yep. It worked.
Yeah, I think that's so important as well, because you guys aren't necessarily in it all day. You're kind of leading the business, not kind of, you are leading the business. So they're the best ones to
Totally.
give you feedback on that. When you say, this is how we should make our pizza, they're like, dude, like, we did burn like 8 out of 10 pizzas.
That's exactly what happened.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Totally. That's exactly what I want it done this way. Well, this is why we don't do it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys both always, it seems like you have a very healthy control over ego as business owners. Is that something that came naturally to you, or have you worked on that as you've gone through, you know, aging and becoming adults and parents?
I just don't really think there's room for that. I've worked in a lot of restaurants and a lot of bars, from nightclubs to little hole in the walls to, you know, sushi restaurants to pizza places. And I can remember so clearly the big egos in the room and how that felt working with these people and for these people. And it sucks. And there's no room for it. That doesn't get us anywhere. If this is going to work, it's going to be a collaboration of everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes my ego feels bruised for sure. Like, I'm making the cocktail list, and if, you know, my staff look at me and they're like, yeah, what you're doing doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not ideal. Like, well, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
But it's necessary.
Yeah.
And they're younger and they're in it every day and they see it, and they're like, they're going to these cool places in Vancouver and they're on social media all the time, and it's so valuable. And I think we have to be open to it,
Mm-hmm.
or it won't work.
Same for you, Spencer? Or?
Yeah, I don't really, like, I don't thrive on the personal recognition of it. I thrive on Nine's recognition, like people dig in Nine. I don't care if they ever know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I walk in here, you don't need to know I'm the owner.
Right.
Do you like the place? Are
Yeah.
you feeling good here? Then I'm feeling good.
Okay, cool.
Right? That's how I, like music too. You
Yeah.
know, you make a song. If you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you pull up to someone and they're listening to your song, they don't need to know who you are. They're
Right.
digging into something you created.
Yeah.
That's the important part to me.
And it's kind of almost cool that way as well.
Totally.
You're kind of like
Mysterious.
Yeah, it's like Banksy, the artist.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Exactly.
there's something cool about that.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, Toxic Dose, that's a perfect example. Like, there's a lot of people who don't know who Toxic Dose is, but they're seeing his stuff all the time now
Right.
and wondering who painted that.
Who
Well,
is that
Toxic
guy?
Dose did it. And you
Who's
don't need
that?
to know his
Yeah.
real name. That's his. That's
Right. Do you guys know his real name?
yeah.
Yeah,
know his
we
real
do.
name.
Oh no, you ruined it.
Yeah.
We didn't put it on Instagram.
Well, we had to
though.
pay him, so
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
an invoice with a
Yeah.
person's name on it.
totally.
This podcast, as you guys know, is called the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast, and every episode I ask the guest the same question. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. There's 2 of you, so you can share the load here a bit. So the first question is the half a dozen have-tos. Stay with me here. So I need from you guys 3 each. You can kind of go back and forth, ping pong style. Something you've experienced in your life that you feel like our listeners have to experience, whether it is a song you've listened to, a piece of art you've looked at, a book you've read, a plate of food you've eaten, a trip you've taken, something food related or not that you feel like our listeners have to do. And I feel like the chivalrous thing to do is let Chelsey go first.
Thank you. Oh, this is hard. 3?
3. We'll go 1, back and forth.
Especially in this industry, in the hospitality industry or the service industry, I think taking care of your mental health is extremely important. But that goes for anyone, no matter what you do. There's something really beautiful about paying someone $150 an hour and just like letting your shit out and this like not bias. So I think like counseling, therapy, check into yourself, talk it out. I think everyone should do that. I think everyone has to do that. Take responsibility for your mental health and, you know, see a counselor. It's awesome. There's nothing better than just, you know, laying it all out there for someone who's not biased, not going to judge you. And then, you know, verbalizing that and moving on and finding some peace with whatever it is that you're going through. So that would definitely be get a therapist.
Nice. I like that one.
Yeah.
Spencer?
I live on Soul Loft, so I'm not even joking. That is my therapy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Personally, like my having kids, that's my thing. Yeah. Like my kids are everything to me. So
Can we give them shout out names or no?
yeah, Ava, Logan, and Leighton. Those are my 3 kids, and they're amazing and
They're why you do what you do.
in every way. Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
Totally
So
proud
cool.
of them. Yeah.
How old are they?
Almost 17, 14, and 7.
Dude, aren't you like 26?
Yeah, I'm 26. Yeah.
Wow.
Totally. I'm 31.
You're his favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm an old man. I'm the old man of 9.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
You're like Grandpa 9.
Yeah, totally.
Silver Fox is
Yeah.
what I
Really,
hear
man.
around this school.
They're everything. They're all of this, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said before, like if they want it, they can have it.
Right.
Yeah. If they don't want it, they don't have it. But
Yeah, kids are. I mean, not everyone is ready for them or
Totally,
wants
yeah.
them, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you have it within you, having kids is just gives you a whole other perspective on
that's
what's
just
important.
my personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Chelsey, back to you.
Well, now I feel like a bad mother if I don't say my kids.
No, come on, no judging here.
They're great, but another thing. I think if you have the opportunity to travel,
Okay. Anywhere in particular?
I traveled around Europe, and I'm not big on touristy things or
Mhm.
sightseeing. That's not really my interest. But I stood on a mountain, I don't know the name of it, above a really beautiful small town in Austria. And that was definitely a moment that I won't forget, you know, being so
Mhm.
far away from home and seeing this cute little town where they do things so much differently than what I'm used to. That was really cool. I think, you know, saving the money and just going somewhere, getting on a plane, going somewhere, standing on that mountain and looking at the different ways the world works.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Spencer, back to you.
Create. Everyone's creative in a way, shape, or
Mhm.
form. So don't stifle it. Let
Yeah.
it out. And whatever it is that you do,
Mhm.
release it.
Yeah, tap into it. Yeah,
Totally.
I totally agree.
Yep.
I love that one. Chelsey, right away, back to you. Your last one.
Oh no. Have to. Something you have to do.
I mean, come to 9 is obviously that's an obvious
I
one.
don't, I don't have to say that. I think giving and receiving love, like what Spencer said about his kids, you know, family, friends, giving love, like I said earlier, carving out time, making a conscious effort to love the people that are important to you, and also being open to receiving love and having the time to receive love.
Very important.
I think that's one of the most important things for sure.
Awesome. Last one, Spencer.
Something I'm really bad at is just like stopping and breathing for a minute.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
He is bad at that.
Sometimes you just got to take a break.
Yeah.
And I'm poor at that, but
Mhm.
it's needed in everyone. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to work on now.
Cool. Can I hold you accountable to that?
Yeah, for
Yeah?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you burn out totally.
Yeah.
And I don't want to burn out.
No, you're too
I'm
valuable.
only 31.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Or 26. One of the
Yeah.
two. The last question I have for you guys is the half a dozen haven't yet. So a little bit easier. It's like a bucket list, if you will. So from each of you, 3 things that you've yet to experience. Obviously, it sounds like you guys have experienced quite a bit with traveling, having kids, opening up businesses, fighting fires, all of those things. But is there stuff that is still on your list of I really want to do that? And if so, what is it? I need 3 from both of you again, if you would. And we'll start with Chelsey again, if that's okay.
I'd really love to participate. So I'm also a nail tech,
Yeah.
a nail technician and artist by trade, and then a bartender. I'd really love to, I've done 1 nail art competition, but I'd love to do more,
Okay.
both bartending competitions and
Okay.
nail art competitions. I think there's something really cool about being in a room full of people that do what you do
Mm-hmm.
and understand things in a way, your profession in a way that other people don't. It's super inspiring to be around like-minded people, and it's super fun to compete
Yeah.
in a lighthearted way. So I'd love to do bartending competitions and art competitions for sure. Yeah.
Cascade Room in Vancouver
Mhm.
is owned by a good friend of mine. They put on competitions all the time. So
Awesome.
if I can link you up,
Yeah.
will you show up and will you compete?
I will show up.
Yeah?
I will show up.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Spencer will work bar that night.
Sure.
Yeah.
To yourself, Spencer, I haven't yet.
I want to write a book.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Dude, epic.
Yep.
By when?
I don't know yet. I've got a lot of different ideas in my head of what that book's going to be,
Okay.
and I'll have to narrow that down. But that's one of the next chapters of my life.
You realize it's like on the record now, dude.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
Doesn't matter if anyone reads it. I want to write it.
Yeah,
So
I like it.
Yep.
Very
it might
cool.
be a murder mystery and I'm the victim. Where did Chelsey
Well,
go?
now they know the ending.
Yeah.
Oh no, she dies. Chelsey, back to you. You haven't yet learned self-defense to keep Spencer away.
No. Another half two. Something I want to do. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants type of person. I don't, something comes up, it interests me, I want to do it.
Right.
I never, I always want to keep experiencing and doing and growing and changing. This is a really hard question for me to answer, actually.
You're doing great.
Another half two.
Yeah, like I haven't yet. Something you haven't done yet. So what have you still not done that you want to experience?
Man, there's so much I haven't done.
I'm gonna wrap them off. Let's go.
I'd like to be able to. I used to curl, so I don't know if this counts. I used to be a competitive curler.
Like
You were a curler?
a bond spiel?
I did not know that.
You know nothing about me. 'Cause I'm so
Whoa.
mysterious. So yeah, I used to do competitive curling. And
What is a bond spiel?
what is it?
Yeah.
Like a tournament.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So since having 2 children and working in the restaurant industry, I can no longer get that close to the ground.
Right.
So I'd really love
Like physically.
physically I'm not. I took my son Reef, he's 7, curling last winter, and thought, like, with my husband, and like, I've done this. I was a competitive curler. Like,
Look out. Watch mom.
watch me
Yeah.
go, right?
Yeah.
No, can't even get out of the hack, which I don't know if you know what that is.
Do you know what curling is, Koji? Koji's from California. You know curling? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know much, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to be able to get out of the hack once again and not break a hip.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
Okay.
Maybe that can be your book. The
I'm bringing a camera for sure.
Back to you, Spencer.
Me and Manage Talk, we're going to get an RV when we retire. And
Ooh,
just get
nice.
in and go and see. Like, I've been to very minimal places in BC alone, let alone North America. So,
Oh, dude,
I
have
mean,
you-
I've flown to places,
Right.
but like to actually travel and see it, totally want to
Have
do
you been
that.
to Nova Scotia?
No, never. I want to go
Bro.
right across. I think it'd
Yeah.
be fantastic.
You gotta do
Take
it.
a couple months and just go.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe that's a great time to write your book.
Yeah, maybe.
Just
Yeah.
saying. Chelsey, last one.
Ooh, I would love to. My husband's family is from Okinawa, Japan. I would love to go there.
What about it?
Well, he's from there.
Right. So just a family connection.
Yeah, the biggest love of my life comes from there, and I mean, he was born here, but a large part of who he is originates there. So I would love to go and take our kids and expose them to that, and that's definitely on the bucket list, and hopefully soon.
You know all about it. You know all about it.
Yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
jam.
Awesome.
Yeah. Spencer, last one.
My band's going to play here. That's my last one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
When?
I don't know. We'll figure it out, but that's what I want to do. Play in my own establishment. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you play drums?
I scream in this band.
You scream. You're a screamer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
a singer at all.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
So, like, who would be some musical influences that people give people context?
Man, too many to name. I'm all over the place.
But like, as far as like another quote unquote screaming band.
Oh, I don't know. Slipknot.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Man, those guys freak me out.
Yeah.
Do you
They're
wear
cool.
a mask?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They did it. I can't do it now.
Oh yeah.
I can't steal that from
Right.
them. But
Chelsey, are you down with Spencer screaming?
Yeah, so Spencer and I have a very different taste in music. I think it's really cool. He played me some of his songs last night, and it's really cool. Like, his lyrics are interesting, and it's hard for me to understand what he's saying.
it's a release. That's what it is.
Totally,
Right.
totally. I can appreciate it. I'm not jamming out to it, like
Right. You're not driving down the highway listening to it.
taking Reef to soccer, like listening to it, but I definitely appreciate it, and he loves it, so I'm going to try to understand it.
Can you give us a few bars?
Nope.
No? You probably bust
Top-
this recorder.
Yeah,
you
probably.
just blow
Top
it
secret
up.
stuff, too. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Because we've had a few people that have come on here and talked about their musical talent. I've been dying for someone to sing. No one's done it.
You got to wait.
Can't
Sorry,
do
dude.
it.
I gotta come back.
You got to
with the
come back.
gear
I'll
and
invite
record it.
you.
Oh
I'll
hell
invite
yeah!
you when we do it.
Coach
You
and I will
back.
come back.
Totally.
We'll check it out.
I'll get you hammered, then you can understand the lyrics.
Oh, I don't actually drink, so
Oh.
I'll have to be sober and try and
Oh,
decipher the lyrics.
Yeah.
I want to say quickly before I let you guys go officially, I want to thank you guys so much for, one, coming onto the show, giving your time to myself and Koji and the listeners. I'm a firm believer that the most valuable thing that we all have is time. So thank you so much for donating yours to my dream, my podcast, and the listeners as well. Thank you so much for that. And I also want to fly your flag and celebrate you guys for what you're doing. A lot of people say this industry is for the craziest of all crazies. And I know now, sitting across from you, that you guys aren't crazy. You're actually quite normal. And you just have to be super passionate about this space. That's what this industry needs, is more people that are just filled with passion and ignorant to all of the other noise that says don't do it. So kudos to you guys for doing it. It's a beautiful space. I look forward to telling everyone outside of this podcast as well to come check you guys out. So thank you so much for holding space for myself, this podcast, and thank you for pushing yourselves into this industry, because we need more people like you in the space. So kudos to you guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us. We appreciate you.
Yeah. My absolute pleasure. Sure. If people do want to connect with you guys through social media, how best they do that?
So our Instagram is 9 Kitchen and Lounge. Our Facebook is the same.
Cool. And then where are we? What's our address in Abbotsford?
2625 Montrose Avenue.
Cool. So if you guys are in downtown Vancouver, make the trip out. If you're anywhere in BC, stop in and check these guys out. Obviously, check into their stories on social media, because they're being as real as you possibly can. And stay tuned. What's the name of your band?
My New Enemy.
My New Enemy?
Yep.
Stay tuned for My New Enemy live in Abbotsford.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Coach and I will be here. Thank you guys for tuning in as you do week after week. I truly appreciate and love you all. If it wasn't for you, this podcast would not exist. That is Chelsey. That is Spencer. This is my man Koji. I'm Brad. This is the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know what to do. Until next time, be good and do good. That's it. We did it.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us. Thanks, man.